What are some things that you should think about before you hire your next attorney? Hi, I'm Alicia Kinchlow, the owner of Kinchlow Law, a family law practice based out of the Philadelphia area. Whenever I'm sitting down with a new client, I'm interviewing them just like they're interviewing me. And so when you're going through any type of legal issue, it can be a little bit nerve wracking, right? If it's your business, you're worried about whether or not they're the right person for your business, if you're going to be able to get that trademark, if you're going to be able to get a contract with terms that work for you. If it's a criminal case, you're worried about whether or not you're going to go to jail. And if it's a family law case, you're worried about how your divorce is going to end up. What is the effect it's going to have on your kids? And so that's why it's very important to know a few things about the lawyer that you're going to end up hiring. The first thing that I tell people to think about, especially in family law situations, is whether or not this person actually cares about your family. And unfortunately, in almost any type of business, whenever we're interacting with a customer or a client, sometimes that customer or client can feel like they're just another transaction, they're just another number. And sometimes you'll have attorneys, because we aren't always the most social people. Sometimes we're really focused on getting the work done for you, that sometimes we don't take a step back and build a relationship. That is not how we do it at my firm, and I suggest that, especially in a family law situation, you look for an attorney who you believe is going to actually care about your family and the outcome. There's been numerous times where I've found situations where the attorney actually made a case worse. They were more worried about winning, than they were about what it actually meant to win for their client, which can be something totally different than what it means to win for the lawyer. So it's important that you find an attorney who actually cares about your family, because, as I always say, you guys have to continue to be a family after you start working with my office. And I would hope that any client that comes in contact with my office is better off for having done so. Now, as always, these videos are for informational purposes only. They are not legal advice, but these are just some tips that I like to share with you. All right, the second tip is, are they competent? Look, when we come out of law school, we don't generally specialize in a certain area. It's not kind of how a lot of people come out of an undergraduate degree with a major or minor in something. Now, we can definitely hyper focus in an area, and certain programs will offer certain types of particular classes like trial advocacy, clinics, or just some other things that can kind of give us a little bit more of a heads up, in terms of a particular practice area. But generally, when we're coming out, we're all starting to practice law. And what that means, unfortunately, is that sometimes people take on a lot of different types of law instead of really just focusing and getting really good at one. And so, if you have an attorney who is a general practitioner, I'm not saying that they're not a good attorney or they're not going to be good at what they do, but you definitely want to look at whether or not they're competent in handling your particular matter. There are certain divorces that are really easy to handle and that almost anyone can handle. But then there are some that turn on really small nuances. There are some cases that are going to turn on really small things, on eliciting or getting the right testimony or evidence presented at a particular point in your case. So it's very important that you make sure that the attorney you hire is competent, not just in your practice area that you need them to work with you in, but also in a particular part of that practice area. So, for example, an attorney who handles family law may do a lot of custody, may do a lot of divorce, but they may not do that much adoption. So you want to make sure that they are actually competent in the area you need them to handle. All right. The third thing that you want to do is to ask is whether or not they actually go to court where your case is. So again, same thing. If your attorney practices primarily in one county over the other county, they can sometimes be a few steps behind an attorney who practices there all the time. So I'll give you an example. I'm in Philadelphia County a lot of the time. I go to a few other counties as well, but in Philadelphia County, I know the clerks, I know the judges, and that does not mean that I have some type of special relationship where I'm going to win your case because I handle those cases, in that area. But what it does ensure is that I typically may know how a particular judge wants something presented, and a person who's not always in that particular courthouse may not be aware. Now, a good attorney is going to do their homework no matter what. So that does not mean, again, that your attorney can't help you just because they're not often there, but they do need to take the steps that they need to find out exactly what the judge wants, how the cases are generally conducted, because it changes from county to county, even though the laws don't, the local rules do, and then all judges have their own preferences. So make sure that you get a good idea whether or not that attorney is comfortable with handling your case in that particular courthouse. All right, and then the fourth thing is trust your gut. Trust your gut. If you are getting a bad feeling in the beginning, think about why that is. And if it can't be rectified with a communication with the attorney, or if it keeps happening, you might want to consider what your options are. You're going to be working with this person, you're going to be paying them your hard-earned money to help you. You want to be comfortable with them. So those are my 4 tips for making sure that you choose the right lawyer. And then understand too, as attorneys, we're also looking at the relationship as well, because we want to be comfortable with you as well. We want to make sure that we can actually help you. I might like you, but I might not be the right attorney for you. And if that is the case, I will definitely send you to someone. If I know someone, I will send you to someone who I think can help you, or I would just let you know that unfortunately I can't help you and your family for XYZ reason. All right, I hope this shed a little bit of light on some things that you should look at when hiring your next attorney. Make sure you hit subscribe. We're doing a video every single day of 2021 on custody, divorce, or support. And make sure you leave a comment below. Let me know if you have any things that you use to determine whether or not someone is a good fit for you, and if there's any topics you would like us to cover in our videos. All right, until next time, take care.